There is a yacht so large that it has its own submarine docked inside it, not on the deck, inside it. The submarine is used to explore the waters beneath the yacht while the owner stays on board. The yacht also carries 2 helicopters, a movie theater, a hospital-grade medical suite, and a crew of over 60 people whose only job is to keep the vessel running. The owner does not drive it. The owner rarely even knows what direction it is heading. That decision belongs to someone else. This is where the 10 levels end. But to understand how wealth moves on water, we start at the beginning. 10 levels of yachts, not just bigger boats. 10 completely different relationships with the water, with freedom, with money, and with what it means to own something that moves. Level 1 access. A second-hand motorboat, maybe 12 to 18 feet, bought for somewhere between $5,000 and $20,000, probably from someone who bought it with the same enthusiasm and used it less than expected. It leaks slightly. The engine requires attention every few seasons. The trailer to transport it costs almost as much to maintain as the boat itself. But none of that is the point. The point is that it floats. It moves. You can take it somewhere the roads do not go and sit in the middle of water with no one around you. For the person at level 1, this is not a luxury. It is the closest thing to freedom available at their budget. And that feeling water underneath, no walls, no commute, no office, is the same feeling that drives every single level above this one. The desire does not change. Only the scale of how it gets answered. Level 2 improvement. A proper cabin cruiser, 25 to 35 feet. Sleeps 2, maybe 4 if nobody minds being close. A small galley kitchen. A head, the nautical term for a bathroom that technically functions. An overnight trip is now possible. A weekend on the water, anchored in a quiet cove, becomes a real thing that actually happens rather than a hypothetical. Price range: $40,000 to $150,000 new, considerably less used. The people here are professionals who prioritize this purchase over other things: a better car, a renovation, an investment they probably should have made instead. They do not regret it. On a Saturday morning, in the right weather, anchored somewhere quiet with coffee and nobody asking anything of them, this boat is worth every dollar. The limitation is not comfort. The limitation is range. A boat this size keeps you close to the coast. The next level is the first one that starts pushing past that. Level 3, comfort, 40 to 55 feet. Now the boat has a real bedroom, a proper berth with a real mattress, not a foam pad, a kitchen that functions like a kitchen, a dining area, air conditioning, a sound system, hot water. The kind of setup where spending a week on board does not feel like camping. It feels like a small, mobile apartment with an exceptional view that changes daily. Price: $200,000 to $600,000. The people here are successful professionals, early retirees, or sailing enthusiasts who made this the central financial priority of a decade. Some of them live on the boat part-time. Some have sold the house entirely and made this the primary residence. There is a community around this level marinas with regular faces, anchorages where the same boats show up every summer, a culture that feels nothing like the world of wealth. It is practical, salty, independent, and then somewhere around level 4, the boat stops being a lifestyle choice and starts being a status object. That shift changes everything. Level 4 status. The boat at level 4 is not purchased because the owner loves sailing. It is purchased because the owner has reached a point in life where the boat communicates something. A sleek 60 to 80 foot motor yacht, white fiberglass, teak decks, a flybridge with a second helm and outdoor seating that holds 10 people comfortably, a professional captain on contract for the summer season. The boat is docked at a marina where the neighboring boats are similar and where being seen arriving by tender says something about the person stepping off it. Price: $1 million to $4 million. The surprising thing about level 4 is the operating cost. A boat in this range costs roughly 10% of its value per year to maintain, crew, fuel, and insure. A $2 million yacht costs $200,000 a year to own, whether you use it or not. The people who buy at this level either do not know this before purchasing, or they know it and it does not change anything. Both of those situations say something interesting about where they are financially, but this is still a world where the boat docks in a public marina. Level 5 is where it starts docking somewhere more private. Level 5 Luxury. 100 feet changes the category. Below 100 feet, a yacht is a large boat. At 100 feet, it becomes something that requires a permanent crew, a formal maintenance schedule, and an itinerary planned months in advance. Price: $4 million to $15 million. The interior has been designed, not decorated, designed by someone whose job is creating interiors for vessels at this level. There is a master stateroom with a king bed and natural light, guest cabins, a dining room, a salon with custom furniture bolted to the floor in ways that are invisible until the sea picks up, a chef who was hired specifically for the boat, a captain who has spent decades at sea and manages the crew with a precision the owner never sees because it happens below deck. Life on a level 5 yacht is genuinely comfortable in a way that surprises most people who experience it for the first time. The surprise is not the luxury, the surprise is the silence. At anchor in the right place, there is no engine noise, no city sound, no signal. Just water and light, and the occasional sound of a halyard against the mast somewhere nearby. But this is still a boat that shows up in the same anchorages as other nice boats. Level 6 is where the itinerary becomes unusual. Level 6 Convenience. The owner of a level 6 yacht does not plan the trip. The captain plans the trip, the chef plans the provisions, the crew prepares the destinations, and the owner arrives at the dock with luggage and a general preference for somewhere warm. 130 to 160 feet. $15 million to $40 million. 2 tenders, one for transport, one for water sports. Jet skis stored in a garage below the waterline. A helicopter landing pad, though no helicopter yet, that comes later. The navigation systems are sophisticated enough to cross an ocean without stopping, and sometimes they do. The Mediterranean in summer, the Caribbean in winter. The Maldives when the owner wants somewhere that feels genuinely remote. The logistics of moving a vessel this size between regions, transporting it across an ocean, while the owner flies ahead and rejoins, are managed entirely by the captain and a shoreside management company. The owner pays an annual retainer to handle exactly this. The owner's relationship with the boat is simple. They call, it appears. What Level 6 actually sells is not the yacht. It is the removal of every logistical thought connected to it. And yet, there is still one thing Level 6 cannot fully provide: genuine privacy. Level 7 Exclusivity. The anchorage is not in any guidebook. The captain found it on a chart, confirmed it with a local contact, and navigated there overnight while the guests slept. In the morning, the guests wake up to a fjord or a hidden bay on a Greek island that has no road access that they have entirely to themselves. This is the specific product that Level 7 provides: access to places that require a vessel of this size and range to reach, and the operational capacity to actually go there. 160 to 220 feet, $40 million to $100 million. The crew count has crossed 20. There is now an actual helicopter on the helipad, not a landing space waiting for one. A submarine dock has been added, not the kind that carries a full submarine, but a personal submersible, a 2-person craft for exploring below the surface. The owner has stopped thinking about the boat as a vehicle. It has become a territory, a private, mobile territory that goes where they decide and stays until they are ready to leave. The world at Level 7 is defined by what is not there: no other boats, no other people, no schedule that did not originate with them. But the yacht is still one yacht. Level 8 is when one is not enough. Level 8 Isolation. Somewhere in the Pacific, a 250-foot vessel is underway. Nobody on the public internet knows its exact position because it does not broadcast its location by choice. The owner is not on it. The owner is on one of the other 2 yachts in the fleet, currently positioned in the Mediterranean. The Pacific vessel is being repositioned for a trip the owner is planning in 4 months. It travels with a crew of 35, whether the owner is aboard or not, because maintaining readiness costs less than the logistical nightmare of shutting it down and starting it back up on short notice. Price: $100 million to $300 million. This is the level at which the yacht stops being a possession and becomes infrastructure. The owner does not think about it the way someone thinks about a boat. They think about it the way a company thinks about an asset, something that has a team, a budget, an operating cost, and a function within a larger system. The absurdity that starts becoming visible at level 8 is not the money, it is the management overhead. Owning a vessel this size is closer to running a small shipping company than to owning a boat. And most people at this level employ someone whose specific job is to manage the yacht, so the owner never has to. Level 9 is where the boat acquires a history and a name that outlasts whoever is currently sailing it. Level 9 Legacy. There are yachts that have existed for over a century, built for royalty or industrialists at a time when a vessel of their size was a feat of engineering that entire nations noticed. Some of them are still sailing, restored, updated, passed through generations, or sold between owners who understood that what they were buying was not a boat but a piece of maritime history with a name that precedes and will outlast them. At level 9, the yacht carries meaning beyond the person who owns it. It is referenced in books, it has appeared in films, heads of state have slept in the master cabin, decisions of consequence have been made in the main salon. The current owner did not commission the vessel. They acquired stewardship of it and with it, a responsibility to the object itself, to its maintenance, to its preservation as something that exists beyond any individual's ownership. This is not the only form level 9 takes. Some owners at this level commission a vessel from scratch with the explicit intention of building something that will be referenced for generations. A design so significant, a specification so extreme, that the yacht itself becomes a cultural object. Either way, the motivation has shifted from personal enjoyment to permanent. Level 10 Power. The vessel is 590 feet long. It has its own internal submarine, 2 helipads, a concert hall, a swimming pool on the upper deck, and a second pool accessible from the waterline. A full hospital with an operating theater and staff qualified to use it. A crew of over 90 people, a wine cellar, a cinema, a beach club that deploys from the stern like a mechanical platform extending over the water. The annual operating cost exceeds $50 million not to own it, just to run it for a year. The total build cost was over $600 million. The owner commissioned it because there was no existing vessel that met the specification, so the specification had to be built. At level 10, the yacht is not a luxury object. It is a floating statement about what becomes possible when wealth reaches a scale where the limiting factor is no longer money but imagination and engineering. The owner does not use all of it on any given trip. Nobody could. The submarine is deployed occasionally, the concert hall has been used a handful of times, the operating theater has never been needed, but they exist. And their existence is not irrational at this level. The cost of having them is negligible compared to the cost of not having them once. 10 levels. A secondhand motorboat on a quiet lake and a 600-foot vessel with its own submarine, both on the same water, both owned by people who wanted the same thing. The difference is everything that got built around that want. If you enjoyed this comparison, make sure to like the video and subscribe to TenTell for more wealth, luxury, and scale comparisons.